Tyrus and I are suspicious of men who announce that they're feminists.
Yes.
That either tells me they are trying to get lucky. Mm-hmm. It either tells me that they're hiding something really disgraceful in their past they did to a woman.
Preach.
Or they're not real men.
Facts.
Do you want to be a man who's a leader of women, or do you want to be a man who's a leader of men?
Leader of men.
I want to be a man who's a leader of men. He's trying to be a leader of women. And it's not attractive. Let's poll the audience here.
Justin Trudeau is
no,
objectively attractive.
Jessica.
I want to know what cosmic crime I committed in a past life to be sentenced to jail time in this timeline. What did I do where I am now sentenced to live on the same planet as Jesse Waters? Oh, do you want to be a leader of men or do you want to be a leader of women? If you're a leader, you should be a leader of people. That's what a leader is. It's what a leader does. Why is this something that we're focusing on? We have so many problems, and yet we're focusing on whether or not men actually like women and think that they deserve rights. Also, why are we worried about whether or not a leader is attractive? Who gives a f***? Who gives a flying f*** whether people are attracted to the leader of a country? I sure don't. That is, of my list of concerns for a leader of my country, that is probably at the very bottom of my list. The right's fascination with hypermasculinity, their claws just digging into the concept of gender binary and clinging to it so tightly, is going to be the downfall of our nation. We have citizens starving in the street because they can't access food, water, healthcare, shelter. But no, let's be worried about the concept of masculinity and what that means and if you have it or if you don't, because that's the most important thing in the world right now.
5 words. Young men voted for Trump. Winston, this is a great story. Young men shifted nearly 30 points to the right since 2020. Analysts say it's because of the new media, masculine cultural figures help them appeal to Gen Z guys. My theory is that they like real dudes, and there were no real dudes on the other side.
What makes Trump a real man? Is it the fraud? Is it the crime? Is it the money? Is it the rapes? Is it the children by multiple women? What makes him so relatable as a real man? My man can't even hold a glass of water with one hand to drink out of it, and you think that's the epitome of your hypermasculinity? Okay, sure, Jan. You want to know why young men fell down the red pill pipeline? Because we've created an individualistic society where people don't go out and just like talk to strangers and make new friends and meet real people and touch grass anymore. And the right saw an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that men are feeling lonely and left behind, and they gobbled them up with a promise of community in exchange for hatred and vitriol towards any other.
And they say, I hate Trump. How could anyone like this guy? But despite it's also that Trump embodies a ultra alpha male in a time of feminine men, an unapologetic defense of the country. Do you see that in your polling? Almost a mythological superhero type figure in the eyes of some voters?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see him at UFC the other day?
Yeah, he was amazing. But by the way, I want to ask a question. What other Republican could hang out with Kid Rock, like 6 black rappers, right?
You guys, I'm so tired. So what? What is it about him? It's because he represents the alpha male. How does he represent the alpha? He just is. He just is the alpha. If I hear alpha, sigma, beta one more time in relation to the leader of our country, I'm going to lose it.
Trump is putting on a performance of masculinity because he's not actually masculine. I mean, this is a guy who spends more time with his makeup artist than with his own advisors. But even setting aside that he probably wears more makeup than Kamala Harris, you know, masculine men aren't afraid of women. They're not afraid to debate women. Masculine men don't have meltdowns on stage because a woman that they didn't like asked them a question that they didn't like. Masculine men aren't manipulated by people who give them compliments. I mean, at this point, Donald Trump is Putin's side check, to put it very bluntly and very simply.
I want to start off my next statement by saying that this girl made excellent points. She made really good points within the argument. I think that we are so distracted by this argument on what makes a masculine man, what makes an alpha male, whether or not Trump is or is not. Who cares? Who cares? Let me tell you a secret. Come in a little bit closer here. Gender is a concept, not sex and anatomy. Gender is made up. No other animal on this planet has the same concept of gender that humans do. It's made up. It's not real. We are basing entire massive arguments off of a fake made up concept. It's so stupid, and it changes. Do you know men used to wear heels, and the male color used to be pink, and they used to wear skirts because it was easier for the thing dangling between their legs, and then everything switched? It's all made up, and it's all a performance, and it doesn't matter. I am so tired of having the same argument, the same conversation over and over, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It's made up. It's fake. It's not real. It's culture war, and it is a performance of a performance, and it is distracting us from the reality of the fact that the richest 1% in this country are keeping us at poverty wages, and they are distracting us with this, are you a masculine man? Are you an alpha male? Who cares? It's not real. And I got caught up in it. I've made videos on this topic before. I'm guilty of getting sucked into the conversation, of getting sucked into the culture where when it doesn't matter. You know what does matter? Who are you as a person? Are you kind? Do you care about others? Are you intelligent? Are you bettering yourself? Do you have good strategy? Are you a good leader of people? That's what matters. And they're so good at distracting us from those things. Don't let them. I'm guilty of it. I've been sucked into this distraction too. And this is me calling it out and hopefully reaching some of you where you can go, oh my God, why are we focusing on this? Because it's not real.
Where have all the men gone? Yet somehow this idea of the traditional roles, it's threatening to the radicals who see the traditional family, especially traditionally minded men, as an impediment to the ultimate goal of the left of socialism and rewriting of American history. Now, remember, Black Lives Matter had the disruption of the nuclear family as one of its main goals. Of course, all the Pajama Boy fans are totally shocked that young men are flocking to non-effeminate men like Jordan Peterson, who wrote 12 Rules for Life. And they're especially furious that millions are tuning in to listen to manly men like Joe Rogan.
Toxic masculinity, that's a hilarious expression, because you need to thank toxic masculinity for all the bridges, all the jets, all the rockets, all this toxic masculinity. If you break down all the things that men have invented, and all these toxic men have prevented like you from being murdered in war and protected the country, and all the different things that you could attribute to toxic masculinity, most of it's positive.
That's why people listen to him.
What's up, everybody? Makes you retire. Richard Ojeda here. And Laura Ingraham is the queen of this. Nobody does it better. She creates a problem when there's really nothing there, and she keeps digging at it until she finally strikes a chord that outrages her brainwashed audience, and then she exploits it with everything that she has. What is she talking about? I have no idea who it is. You know, she thinks, what, men need to stop being men? It doesn't matter that there's no sense of reality behind anything that she's saying. Do you think her bosses care? Do you think that her sponsors care? Do you think that anyone at Fox Propaganda Network cares? They don't. The angrier the audience, the more money they make, and that is what it's all about. She has somehow managed to trick the audience into believing that the left have waged war on men. After all, Laura Ingraham wants to return to the 1950s. Women fought for generations to be treated equal in the workplace, making it possible for Laura Ingraham to even have her own show. So how does she repay the women who paved the way for her to be where she is today? Well, she wants men to be men. Anyone that knows me knows that I revere my wife. You know, she does things that most men couldn't even dream of doing. We purchased property in North Carolina, and my wife is on that property right now, leveling land, maintaining generators, and operating a tractor. And I guess Laura Ingraham doesn't approve of that. Laura Ingraham wants to make sure that all Americans hate each other, because when they do, it means that she's done her job. This woman has no principles. She makes sure to always wear the biggest cross that she can find, yet nothing this woman says is Christian. She promotes sexism, racism, bigotry, all the while wearing that cross. I don't know what church that she goes to, but whatever and wherever it is, I really hope that that's not what they preach on Sundays.